Hey everyone, how's it going? So I decided to make some videos to kind of document my way back to getting my health and my fitness self back on track. Not that it ever really went away, but it kind of did. As some of you know, I had a baby about 6 months ago, and it's been quite the journey trying to get myself back. Not necessarily because I was lazy or anything, but because my body physically was unable to do the things that I could do before. And I just needed to kind of recover first, and it took me quite some time to get to that point. So now that I'm at a point where I can start and I can basically do almost everything I could before, I figured it would be kind of cool to document my before and after, or my now and after. So, yeah, anyway, this is what this will be all about. So, let me tell you a little bit about the story. So, basically, a year and a half ago, Jordy and I found out we were pregnant. It was my birthday, and it was my 33rd birthday. And we were super excited because we had been trying, we wanted to start a family. And only a few months later, we found out that we lost that baby. So it was very devastating. In those 3 months, though, that I was pregnant, I did continue doing everything I was doing before, because they said if you're already exercising and doing all this stuff, then you're good to continue. Just, nothing crazy, no hardcore workouts, nothing hot. And it was the beginning of summer, so I was trying to be a little bit more cautious. And I was also working at that time, and I work crazy long hours, so that may have contributed to maybe some stress or something, but I don't want to blame anything, so we're just going to leave it at that. 6 weeks after the loss of our first baby, we got pregnant again, and I want to say it was late September, early October that we found out about the second pregnancy. And obviously, only those who have gone through a miscarriage can really relate to this, but it kind of, you see things differently. It's kind of harder to enjoy the pregnancy when, you're scared that you might lose the baby. And so anyways, you take very, very precautions to everything. And so I was being extra careful with everything, and extra with everything. And we even went on a road trip, and it was already pre-planned from before, and we were going to go do some hikes and all these things. And we basically just took the road trip, cut it short, and didn't do any of the things that we said we were going to do, because we were so scared that something was going to happen. Mind you, let me add in there that the only reason we didn't do a lot of those things was because we had a bit of a scare, and I felt I did almost lose the second baby as well at that time. So fast forward, the pregnancy was perfect. It was great. I wish everyone to have a pregnancy the way I had the second, because I had literally no symptoms besides a growing belly, and that belly got huge. And even though that belly did get huge, I didn't get any stretch marks, which was nice. I'm not sure if that's genetics or if that's the belly oil I was using. I'm not sure. I mean, I did it to prevent. Say it worked, I don't know. Anyways, now I have a beautiful 6-month-old boy, Okiani. You'll hear me reference to him every once in a while, I'm sure. He's wonderful. He's a perfect little boy. Like, he sleeps well from day one. Doesn't really cry. Maybe I'll pay for it in the future. I'm not sure. Knock on wood. I hope not. But he's great. And he's everything, obviously, that we wanted. So although the pregnancy was perfect, my labor was not. I don't want to complain about it because I know that everybody's birthing experience is totally different, and I do like to be very positive about all that, and for future moms as well. I just don't like the negativity that goes into birth stories. I had a doula who was absolutely amazing. Like, hire a doula. If anyway, she was perfect. And I could never go through something like that ever again without her. So basically, she was the best support system. Besides my husband, he was great too, but she was a great support to him also. So during the actual labor, I had a 32-hour total labor. The 28 hours was basically just the contractions. I decided to go without medication, which worked out for me. But then things were starting to get a little bit complicated because we had passed the 24 hours since my water had broke. Baby Okeani was comfortable and he didn't want to come out, but his heart rate was great, so there was no pressure. But because the 24 hours had passed, they did feel that it was time to start getting him out. So to make a long story short, he was basically sitting sideways in my tummy, so his spine was to my right. And that complicated a lot of things because he just was not coming. He did not fit to come out sideways. And so with a lot of force from our end, they had to basically, suction him out, whatever. And with his poor little head knocking on my pelvic bones and stuff, by the time it was all over, 4 hours later, making that a 32-hour total, I felt awful. My bones hurt so much, although I didn't really feel the damage until like the next day or after I had gone home, because that's when I guess all the painkillers wore off. Or the freezing or whatever they do to you. I'm not really sure. But overall, like, it was a wild experience. So, I mean, if you're thinking about having kids or anything, definitely 100% do it, because it's cool. Like, it's a cool experience. If not, that's totally up to you, obviously. I wanted to have children, and I would definitely do it again also. But it did leave my body a little more damaged than I had expected. I thought I was going to be that person because of the perfect pregnancy and because of my, past health and fitness and obsession, that I would have a perfect recovery too. But unfortunately, it couldn't have gone any more worse than it did. So yeah, my pelvic bones hurt so bad. I guess the way I was, holding my legs or whatever, I strained my hip flexors pretty badly to the point where I literally couldn't walk. I thought I was paralyzed. Like, I thought, I couldn't understand why I couldn't walk. Like, I literally could not put one leg in front of the other just to go to the bathroom. And I had never heard moms ever complain about something like that. And I was like, oh my God, like, what happened? Like, what did I do differently? Like, what the heck? Anyway, that's what I've discovered from it. That's what I think happened, is because of the strain on putting my arms. Anyway, so I couldn't walk and it was awful, and I kept feeling bruising, but then it just felt worse and worse. Like, it just progressively got worse, and then my back started to hurt worse, and just everything was awful. And I guess it was all, the painkillers, freezing, whatever, wearing off. It must have been freezing because I didn't ask for anything, so I don't know. I don't know what happens. But anyways, I've seen every kind of therapist to heal my body that you could possibly recommend. If there are any more kinds, please feel free to comment and let me know what those are. but I saw chiropractors and physio and massage, and it wasn't until I saw this osteopath that like cured my body. And I only saw her a few times, but whatever magical things she did to me worked. So that brings me to now. It's been a couple months, since seeing her a few times, and I feel great. And I've been back to the gym, which is awesome. That's like the biggest progress I've gotten since birthing the baby. And yeah, I figured, you know what? This would be the coolest thing if I could document it, let it be for the public or just for myself. It would be cool to see the transformation, because I've made a huge transformation before. If you go back in the videos, you'll see that I did compete in a bikini competition. I think it was 5 years ago. It was the coolest fitness journey I ever did, and maybe one day I'll do it again, but right now I just kind of want to get myself back on track, back to doing my fitness health stuff that I had done before. The only difference with me from then and now is that for the last 2 years I have been strictly plant-based. So that's one thing that I have to take into consideration. On top of all that, I'm also still breastfeeding, so my calories do make a huge difference. Like, I have to be very careful with what I'm eating so that I don't lose my supply. And those are things that I'm not really, well, I'm very aware of what I need to do plant-based. I'm just not totally sure how to incorporate all this stuff while breastfeeding. So this will be my journey. This will be how I document what the hell I'm doing. So if you feel you want to follow along, this is where you'll find it. If not, that's okay too. It's for me too. So anyway, thank you guys for watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.